Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of Fanatics Live.
Oh, baby.
We are back, Matty Ice.
Oh, back and better than ever, baby.
We went through hell and high water to get back here,
we
Matt.
did.
Matt, what the heck's happening, man? How was your Christmas? I know you went home to the old
dude,
upstate New York.
It was eventful.
Eventful.
It was crazy. Absolutely nuts. It was a great time spending with family. I'll say that. It was a lot of fun, good memories. But, man, those flights, they kill me. The flying in the holiday season is just not it.
So I had a pretty easy go of it. For those who missed it, Matty Ice, if I'm not mistaken, had to miss a show of what the heck happened there?
Oh yeah, Saturday.
What happened?
So I don't know if this has happened to anybody else, but I'm fine with like a delay. I'm totally fine with that. I'm not one of those guys that's gonna throw it. It's life. It happens, But when they delay the flight 3 hours, and then you consistently get texts, little things on your phone that say, hey, your flight's now getting moved up again.
Oh, you signed up for Southwest Alerts.
Exactly.
Trying to be helpful here.
Exactly. So then here's the thing. They sent me 5 text messages throughout the span of like 5 hours. So they started at like 8 in the morning and all the way up to like 1:30. Okay. And the flight was supposed to start boarding at 3:30. Okay. Saying, hey, your flight's getting moved up every single, like a half an hour each time. And so we ended up taking off the ground at like 2:15.
That's not that bad, though.
It's just not ideal. I mean, there was this one girl in front of me, and she lived an hour and a half away. What is she supposed to do?
But she made it, didn't she?
By the skin of her teeth. She took a lucky... she just said, hey, I don't know what's going on here, so I'm getting there early.
I don't know, Matty Ice. I had no problem here. I feel like having a flight moved up is a good thing.
It's a good thing. Listen... I had a couple plans. I was totally fine.
How did you miss the show then? Is what I don't understand.
Because I was planning on leaving it at 4:45, like they delayed it to. So I had to make sure that it was gonna get figured out. It was gonna get taken care of.
I get what you're saying.
And by the time that they kept moving it for more and more, because even if it had left it the first time that they said they moved it up, it still wasn't gonna be back till 8 o'clock.
Okay. It's Matty Ice. I tell you what, I'm busting your stones over here.
I know, Josh.
I'm not gonna side with a big aviation over here. Man of the people. No. But neither here nor there. We're waking up today. My phone broke last night.
Oh,
Matty Ice's flight's delayed.
Oh, jeez.
What a start to get back into the swing of things here.
It really is.
But nonetheless, we are back here on Fanatics Live. I hope everyone had a lovely holiday weekend.
How was yours?
Fantastic, man. Good to go back home. Good to feel that cold again, I come back here, it's 80 degrees on December 28th. What am I supposed to do with that?
Yeah, but at the same time, it's something nice. There's a reason why I'm down here in the warm, man.
Fair enough.
It's just that the cold doesn't...
We need a little balance. We need a better balance. But, Matt, it's football season's over pretty much, man. We are going to head into Week 18. One more game into NFL Week 17 here, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, has it been a doozy? There's still a lot of questions I have going into the playoffs here. None of these questions I don't think will be answered by the end of Week 18. It's kind of like the TV show Lost. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yes.
Where, you got all these questions. You get to the end, you think you're going to get answers.
No answers.
And you're left with more questions, really, by the end of it.
Yep.
That's kind of how I'm feeling as we head into Week 18 here, Matt.
That's perfectly said.
So let's just start it off with some of our massive takeaways from Week 17, and then truly, I guess, from the entire NFL season up to this point. And Matt, I watched football this last weekend. We will get into the scheduling, by the way, of how the weekend was staggered, I should say.
Yep.
The biggest takeaway I had from this week of football is do not, and I mean do not, let the Cincinnati Bengals into the playoffs. And I know the chances are slim. Depending on where you look, they now have a 15% chance to make the playoffs as we head into the last week. But oh my goodness, the Cincinnati Bengals right now are the best story in the NFL, and are not just the best story in the NFL, from what I've been able to gather, the best offense in the NFL, and they have been now for 4 or 5 weeks. It's been a slow build. Joe Burrow is playing absolutely out of his gourd. 42 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. Those are some prime Aaron Rodgers. Those are some Drew Brees, Peyton Manning numbers, leading the NFL in passing yards by quite a wide margin.
Yeah.
I would say this as well for the degenerates out there. You can get the Bengals at plus 28,000 to win the Super Bowl right now. Now listen, they got to get into the playoffs first. And I know there's a lot else going around in the AFC. There's a lot of good teams in the AFC. But the way this offense is playing right now has got me so excited that all I want to see in Week 18 is for the miracle to happen, for the Bengals to get into the playoffs, because once they do, I think they could beat anyone. They could beat any team in the NFL right now, and I think that offense is playing so good that it can overcome the defensive shortcomings.
It's so weird. It was so weird with that team because we knew that they had the firepower on offense. We knew it. We saw the flashes of it.
Man.
But that defense couldn't stop a Pee Wee football team. They
Yes.
couldn't. And now they're starting to get the stops.
And
Now
Matt, I
they're
still
starting to
do
get together.
question the defense. Like, a good defense doesn't let who caught that last ball? Bo Nix or Marvin Mims?
Marvin Mims, yeah.
Look, and tip your cap, man. Marvin Mims, what a catch.
That was incredible.
But a good defense doesn't let him catch that
No,
ball.
it doesn't.
But you were saying, that defense is looking better. I think they had 4 sacks, one of their best
Yeah.
games from a pass rush standpoint this entire season. But Matt, look, your Buffalo Billy Goats.
Come on, baby. Circle the wagons.
I mean, it was let's call it, there was a 40-0 win that looked like a 40-14 win.
Yeah.
When it was all said and done. Tell me if you're the Bills, as a Bills fan. 2 versus 7 seed. You're playing the Cincinnati Bengals. How would you feel?
I'm not hoping for the same miracle as you, man. I don't want to see anything to do with Joe Burrow. I don't want to see him. He already haunted us. What was that? 2 years ago now that they beat us at home, or we went to their place and they beat us. That was just terrible. I don't want to face Joe Burrow.
You're
at all.
saying, right, as a Bills fan, you're going into Highmark Stadium. It's Bills Bengals. You're shaking in your boots. You're nervous, are you not?
There's only 2 teams in the AFC that scare me. That's it. Every other team, actually 2 teams in the NFL that scare me. That's it.
Who are they?
Ravens
Okay.
and the Bengals. That's it.
Wow,
Those are the
that's
only
crazy.
2 teams right now that scare me.
So
Every other team, it doesn't scare me.
So what do you got, Matt? Do you have a big takeaway from this past week here?
Yes, it is one. It's actually the team that was on the opposite end of our on the other side of the field of the Billy Goats.
Oh,
It was
boy.
the Jets.
Okay.
The Jets. Did you see what Sauce Gardner said about T. Higgins?
I did.
Which is crazy. So they are not only are they mentally checked out of the season, they are mentally checked out of the entire franchise. They don't care. They don't have any trust in the ownership. They don't have any trust in management. They don't have any trust in the coachings. It's a mess. It really is. There's no other way to put it.
I feel like what's happening with the New York Jets is right out of a mediocre TV show
It is.
or movie.
Yes.
Like, good TV shows don't have the capacity to write this easy. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
This is just like, look, if you like South Park, nothing against you, okay? A lot of people like the show. I personally am not a fan of South Park because I feel like it's such like, the jokes are too easy to make. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, you made the easiest offensive joke you can make.
Yeah.
That's the New York Jets right now when it comes to a football team.
Yeah.
Where it's like, there is no way it's getting this bad.
I mean, Garrett Wilson requested or basically said he wants out.
Yeah,
Garrett Wilson wants out.
Garrett Wilson ain't staying there.
No, he's gone.
The question is, who is staying there? Unless you're under a rookie contract, unless you're under a deal for multiple
Let's
years.
go through it. So I think Garrett Wilson's gone.
Okay.
I think Devontae Adams is kind of forced to stay now. I mean, unless
What's his contract?
Because he was coming over from the contract from
Got
the
it.
Raiders, so I would assume that it's still the same thing that he had, which I would assume would be like 2
Let me pull it up real quick.
2 years. I would
if only
say.
there was some way for us to check.
We both had laptops.
Yeah, right? Let's see. Devontae Adams' contract here.
I want to say it's 2 years left.
It looks like he's going to be signed with the Jets through 2026. You're right.
2 years, yeah.
You're right. And he's not making that much money here. Looks like a restructured deal where he's making around $2 million.
Oh, there we
no,
go.
$35 million. It was $2 million less than it was supposed to be. So
Gotcha.
$35 million he's on the hook for. I was going to say, that can't be right. For 2 more years, that's rough stuff over there for the New York Jets. I don't know what you do. But, yeah, dude, that was absolutely embarrassing. The line was 10 points for the Buffalo Billy Goats. I didn't really know what to make of it. I stayed away from betting a lot of these games this weekend. But, yeah, from bad to worse for those New York Jets. Yeah, I'm with you here. Now, Matt, real quick, going back to the Bengals.
Oh, okay.
If the Bengals are able to make the playoffs, and I was a writer here, I would be tempted to give Joe Burrow an MVP vote. Tempted is the key word here. Because, look, I don't think you can take it away from Josh Allen. I do think Lamar Jackson has deserved to be a second place. But if you just take your step back and say, who's tossing this pigskin better than anyone right now? I think it might be Josh Allen.
What are we going to go?
Joe
What are we going to
Burrow.
go with MVP? What is the criteria for MVP?
MVP, I think it is the guy who elevates his team to the highest level.
No matter who else is on his team.
Yes. And I think it would be Josh Allen, to your point, right?
So, in my opinion, it goes off of wins. Who has the most wins?
Okay.
Who has less to work with?
Yes.
I think there's a little mix and match of everything. And I think that Joe Burrow would arguably the number one wide receiver. I'll give him number 2. Justin Jefferson's number 1. I think Jamar Chase.
No, arguably number 1. I think you're right about that.
Arguably number 1, Jamar Chase.
Good morning, Greenlaw, by the way. Good to see you here. Happy Monday.
I think that he also has T. Higgins, who should be a number 1 elsewhere. Who would be a number 1 elsewhere.
Yeah, okay.
Anyone who I listen, T. Higgins is a stud. I want T. Higgins, so I want him.
Where would he be number 1? The Arizona Cardinals?
He'd be number 1 in Buffalo.
No, okay, easily. That's true. Easily. I guess I wasn't thinking about it from that perspective.
Easily. He'd be the number 1 Carolina.
Yeah, okay. But like we're talking like pure number 1. And number 1, when you say number 1 receiver, I think of being the number 1 on like on a playoff team. I think he's a good number 2. You know what I mean? Okay. Like it's like a baseball, right? Corbin Burns is like an ace, but a guy like Aaron Nola, would he be an ace on every single team? I don't know. I think that's kind of a fair comparison.
I just think he's been number 2 to the wide to Jamar Chase for. I think everyone forgets how good he is.
Matt, your point does stand, though, right? Your point does stand. T. Higgins is a fantastic receiver. Yep. We saw that this past weekend. Compared to the Bills, compared to what Josh Allen is doing with that.
Matt Collins.
Yeah.
Again, Keon Coleman is very rough. I mean, he's shown them that he
made a great
get out there.
catch.
That was an incredible catch. We also dropped a pass earlier in the game which, I mean, he's a rookie. You expect these kind of things, but at the same time, another heck of a catch by Amari Cooper as well. But the other argument would be Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I know a lot of people wanted it to be Lamar. Listen,
I'm sorry,
it's not going to happen.
I can't give it to him. I just can't.
Does he deserve to be in the discussion? Yes, but it's like the Jokic Embiid thing.
Narrative. They're just pushing the narrative. ESPN, every single post I see, NFL, ESPN, Lamar Jackson. Why is Lamar Jackson an MVP?
Because he's not Josh Allen. It's Josh Allen's year.
It's got to be Josh's year. Like, what else would he have to do?
I don't know, man.
I don't understand it. It's like Allen needs to limit his turnovers. Okay,
he's barely turned the ball over. Yeah.
Now he's got his touchdowns up there. He's got one less than Lamar, or a couple less than Lamar, but he's got less turnovers than Lamar now. Total turnovers because of fumbles, and it's like, all right, what more do you have to do?
Now here's my question about Josh Allen though, and the MVP. Okay. From like let's take a look at this from a card perspective.
Yes.
Josh Allen obviously in this market is heavily vaunted. Obviously one of the best quarterbacks of this generation. We talk about these players sometimes when we're looking at cards and say, oh, if he wins an MVP, it's going to go up. Oh, if he wins a Super Bowl, it's going to go up. I feel like for Josh Allen, this MVP won't actually affect his card market.
I agree with you.
To me, it's Super Bowl.
I agree with you. It's Super Bowl.
And that's the only thing that could actually affect.
I completely agree. I completely agree. That's 100%. I agree because with a Super Bowl, not only are you you're getting the entire sports world involved at that point. It's not just the card market. You're getting every single Bills fan that's going to start wanting to buy his stuff. You're getting everybody saying, "Hey, this is the guy. This is the guy that brought Buffalo their first Super Bowl."
I tell you what, if/when, because I want to give you credit, Matty Ice. If/when Josh Allen wins the Super Bowl for the Bills, the market's going to absolutely explode, and it's so tough because you see guys. Let's take it from a baseball perspective. Bryce Harper and Mike Trout come to mind.
Yes,
where it's like, look, there's so many personal accolades. They can win 3 more MVPs. They can win a triple crown. Yep. I don't know how much higher it can go. Yep. If you just win 1 Super Bowl, if you win 1 World Series. That is where you are really going to see it explode. Cook, go Birds, baby. What a fantastic win for the Eagles. I got the cigar out today for a little, how about them Cowboys, baby? 41-7, man. 41-7 without Jalen Hurts, nonetheless. Kenny Pickett, Matty Ice, he was looking like a starting quarterback this weekend.
He did.
We saw plenty of backup quarterbacks, and I do want to have a little fun talking about backup quarterbacks today. But you know what? Let me put a pin real quick in the Minnesota Vikings because we got Cook in here. Let me just talk about that Eagles win real quick. That was fantastic. You were working yesterday, weren't you, Matt?
I was.
Jake, go Birds. Let's go, baby.
We had it on the background we were cheering on Saquon.
Yeah,
that's what we were doing.
In case you missed it, guys, 41-7. It was dominant. It was an embarrassment for the Dallas Cowboys. It was an absolute old-fashioned butt whooping. 41-7, and I think 35-6 was the first game.
Wow.
Has to be the biggest blowout between 2 games, Eagles and Cowboys. Good morning, Buttersworth. A happy Monday to you. And Jake, that's the question, real quick. Yeah, you know what, Matt? Throw out the show sheet. Let's quickly dive into this because Jake has a fantastic question
hear
for
it.
us. And it's, are the Eagles going to play Saquon next week?
Oh, my goodness.
I think the other question is, should the Eagles play Saquon next week? So, Chad, feel free to weigh in. Jake is saying they should. Matt, before I answer, I want to hear your perspective because obviously I am an Eagles fan.
Yep.
So let's hear your non-biased perspective on the
My
Saquon Barkley
non-biased
thing.
perspective would have been you needed to play him more this past week because I saw they subbed him out. They subbed him out after he what was it, 2,000 yards? I think it just ran.
Let me just say this though, and Jake, you can disagree, and anyone in the chat. Watching the game, it did not felt like it felt like the right move to sub him out. You know what I mean? Like he was getting a lot of touches. After he got the 2,000 thing, like they had given him the ball like 6 times in a row. Already up 4 possessions. You know what I mean? So like I think they would have subbed him out week 4. You know what I mean? So just for context, like I don't think it was like a total sub out. But go ahead, Matt. You were saying.
I'm just thinking that I don't think you sub him out. I mean, what? It's just we were talking about this back in. Oh, this was one of the first shows where we were talking about what happens when it comes down
You remember,
to the
huh?
final week
For
of
those who don't
Saquon.
remember, I asked him this question 10 weeks ago.
It was one of the very first
Yeah,
shows.
like
I wanna
week
say it was the first
11,
show.
week 12, I already asked Matty Ice, what if this exact scenario happens? And here we are.
I think you play him. I think Saquon sticks it to the Giants and says, listen, I'm going to break the record in front of
It's
the
in Philly.
Giants.
It is in Philly, by the way.
Listen, it doesn't matter. He's going to do it against the Giants. I think you play him. But the moment he gets that record, go hit those showers. Go hit the showers. You did your job, man. Like, that's all I need to see from you. Like, that's it.
Oh, my gosh, dude.
He's got to do it.
This is tough. I'll be honest. This is very tough. So, and Jake says if Saquon gets the record, he's MVP. If he doesn't, it goes to Josh Allen.
Nah.
I want to agree so bad, Jake. I want Saquon Barkley to win MVP so bad. I can't get there. I can't get there.
It's tough.
And I'll be honest, as cool as it would be for him to win the record, first of all, Dickerson did it in 16 games.
Yes.
Which I do think means a little bit something.
It absolutely has to add on. It absolutely has to add a little something to it for sure.
Second of all, I don't think you can play him. I really don't.
You have to.
Can you imagine
He's
if
chasing
Saquon
greatness.
Barkley tweaks his ankle even?
But here's the thing, he's chasing immortality.
Yeah. You know what immortality is to me, Matt? You know what immortality
Another
is to me?
Super Bowl ring.
Not another for Saquon. His only Super Bowl ring for 98% of this Eagles roster. Their first Super Bowl ring. Matt, you cannot mess around with this sort of thing. Records are meant to be broken. 20 years from now, someone's going to break Saquon's record. Super Bowl rings and banners are forever. All right? I hate to be a fun police, a Debbie Downer, but I mean, look, it's not like Saquon is a spry chicken and he's looked like in the season. He's had injury issues in the past. I cannot chase a silly little record in a game that means literally nothing. If you can make the case for me, well, there's an outside chance of the 1 seed. Oh my God, they can bump up their seeding just a little bit.
Means, go ahead.
You know, if you can bump it up from 3 to 2, they are locked in the 2 seed with a win. They are locked in the 2 seed with a loss. You're playing a team that has reason to maybe look. I'm not trying to call anyone dirty, but it's the Giants. If there's anyone who has a little extra motivation to put a little fracture, to put a little dent in this Cinderella story for Saquon and the Eagles, it's the New York Giants. You don't mess around with this sort of thing, man. Super Bowls are forever. Records are made to be broken. All right, I think we're going to talk about this all week, by the way.
Yeah,
I think this is going to be a big topic.
See, the Bills are in the same exact position right now with Josh Allen. There's a good chance that Josh Allen does not play this upcoming week.
I see. I think the difference is there's nothing that he can do, right?
There's nothing that either of them can do right now because I think, for example, Josh Allen, I think you need to make the case of MVP right now. I think that we've seen.
It's Josh Allen, man. It's Josh. I think you're being a Bills fan, and understandably so. You have a lot of baggage.
It hurts, man.
You got a lot of pain
and torment, man.
So you were already talking yourself into like they're gonna take the award away from my king. You know what I mean? Like this. He's gonna get MVP, Matt. I'm gonna rest assured. Josh Allen, like. If Lamar Jackson puts up 500 yards and like 200 rushing with 8 touchdowns, maybe they'll give it to Lamar.
Yeah.
But Matt, please, I'm trying to tell you, man.
All right.
They're not going to penalize Josh Allen. Like if you don't give Allen the MVP at this point, unless Saquon rushes for like 300 yards and 4 touchdowns, or like I said with Lamar, it's going to go to Josh Allen. And I think it would be criminal to penalize Josh Allen for putting his team in a position where he doesn't have to play in Week 18. You know what I'm saying? If you would be awarding Lamar Jackson for not winning earlier in the season and putting up stats. Jake's, he did what is that, Gladiator? I don't know what that movie is really go. Bang! That's exactly what Jake just did to my Saquon take. He said, "You're no fun, Josh. I want to see my player break the record." I get it, man. I want to do the Nick Castellanos thing and give you the ring finger, but I don't want anyone to take that out of context. I want to see the Super Bowl ring, Jake. We'll talk about this all week, though, because I can see my mind changing on this. Where I'm sitting here at my desk and I'm like, how awesome would it be if Saquon wins the record? But we'll talk about that more all week. Another huge takeaway, Matty Ice. Kind of taking a step back, looking at the NFL as a whole. Vikings, very impressive performance. I can't stand the Vikings. They're not fun to watch for me. I like being right, Matt, and I've picked against the Vikings all season. I lost some good money on the Packers yesterday, who looked pretty dead. They looked very sleepy. We have to call the Vikings a Super Bowl contender, right? You have to. And I have said it. I've said no all season. And I personally am not going to pick them still. I think we're in the same exact boat. It's the Sam Darnold on the Jets that we're thinking of. That's who we're thinking of. We're not seeing him in the purple. We're not thinking of him as that. We're thinking of him in the green jersey. He's not the same guy. He's not. He looks like He looks good. Yeah. He looks good. He's making the throws. Good. He's got good command of the offense. He's making it run like a well-oiled machine. Like he looks good out there. It's a lubed up offense. It's a lubed up offense, right, Matty Ice? Well-oiled machine. I like the sound of that. I think it's good. I just don't know. How long it lasts. I am waiting. They have a great offense. I am preying on their downfall, admittedly. And I'm just waiting on an implosion. And I want to be there. And I want to plant my flag and say, I was right. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm waiting for the dunk on the Vikings. And what we saw in that Packers game yesterday was two things that I think was very important that the Vikings do that scares me in the playoffs, I think, that shows me that they could be one contender. One is on the offensive side. It is totally utilizing Justin Jefferson not only as one of the best receivers in the NFL, but as the greatest decoy in sports, 100%. Maybe. 100%. It would be like having LeBron James and then purposely running the offense around like Austin Reeves and Anthony Davis. Yeah. Maybe that's not the best example, but you get what I'm saying, where you are seeing Jordan Addison, you're seeing Jalen Naylor, you're seeing Aaron Jones now all have these fantastic games as a direct result from saying, go cover Justin Jefferson. Go all week, prepare for Justin Jefferson. And we're baking this into our game plan that you're not going to be able to cover Addison. You're not going to be able to cover Aaron Jones. And then once you start to catch on, we're switching it up. Bang, there's Justin Jefferson. The other thing is, defensively, man. They have a great defense. They do. They have a phenomenal defense. That's not any news. But I think the key is they took Green Bay completely out of rhythm, where Green Bay was not able to string together any drives. No. 3-and-outs, turnovers, not giving the Packers a chance to breathe. You saw, and look, 50-50 because you saw the Packers in the fourth quarter really come to life. Yeah. And I think that's good to see if you're a Packers fan and if you're like me, a big Jordan Love guy. I think that's huge. But I think it's so key in the NFL for these offenses to get in a rhythm, and the Vikings just don't allow you to do that. No. Having said these two things, if you are able to cover a Justin Jefferson, which is nearly impossible, and if you are able to get into a comfort zone early against that Vikings defense, I'm still not going to look. I'm still picking so many teams over the Vikings. I'm still going to take the Lions over the Vikings. I can't do it. I'm still going to take the Eagles over the Vikings. I think this game, I think it's tonight. The Lions play tonight, don't they? Yeah, they play the 49ers. 49ers. I think this is a big game for the Lions, just to show us where they kind of are. To be completely honest with you. I kind of disagree, Matt. I don't know if this game means that much for the Lions. I think it's more of just where does this team stand? Okay. In terms of because I think the 49ers are still a good team. The record doesn't show it. That's where we disagree. I think that the 49ers are not a bad team. I think they've had a bunch of injuries just throughout the course of the year that have kind of just piled up. It's the usual 49ers way, where they get these injuries that just kill them. And they have these guys that are just missing time. But I really do think that the 49ers are not a bad football team. I have to say, I really don't think they are.
I think they've had a lot of bad things, just not. I think
All right.
a lot of things that haven't gone their way, and I think that the Lions, who we know have had a big injury problem this year. I mean, Hutchinson.
Yeah.
That's just to start it
there's
off.
20 guys that we can name here that I
100%.
don't even, I can't even rattle off the list. I
And
stopped
so I
remembering.
think that this is kind of where we see, all right, how can they rally around the troops? How can they rally them up and get them to play to the best performance with the backups?
Yeah, I think so too. I just don't think the 49ers are the toughest test. They've been floundering. They're down to Isaac Guerrero.
Exactly. So how are they going to match up if they can't beat the 49ers? But they like going against a team like the Vikings.
I'm pretty sure the one thing I will say is motivation is a real thing. I know Campbell always has those guys ready to play.
Yeah, no, that's a great
I'm
point.
pretty sure if they win or lose, it does nothing to them, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but if they lose tonight, I still think if they beat the Vikings next weekend, because they have the tiebreaker, they win. And if they win tonight and they still lose to the Vikings next weekend, they lose. So I don't know how much motivation will be there tonight.
Yeah.
And for Brock Purdy, I don't think he's that great of a quarterback. So I honestly don't think it's the biggest test for the Lions tonight. But we can get into Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
I kind of want to preview that show to close game to close out the show over here. We're going to do a little overreaction, underreaction, or straight facts, Matty Ice, because weird week in the NFL. Saw some dumpster fires. And I want to start this off by looking at the Houston Texans. Houston Texans are a team that I've said for a lot of this year, they're fine. They're figuring it out. Second-year jitters, you see it all the time. After this last week, Matt, I'm ready to proclaim it. I think the Houston Texans are just broken. And I don't think there's any fix for this Texans team. Is that an overreaction? Is that an underreaction? Or is that facts?
I have to go with that's facts.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that. I mean, I think there's a bunch of things that just, again, did not go their way. They had a great team on paper. They were one of the strongest teams going on paper going into the year. I mean, Nico Collins, Diggs. They had a couple big signings on the defensive side of the things. Will Anderson also being the defensive star that he was showing in his rookie year. A bunch of things that just did not go their way with Tank Dell getting hurt, Nico Collins getting hurt early, Joe Mixon getting hurt early, and
Diggs
and then Diggs with a season ending.
Yeah.
And then now Tank Dell with a season ending. So it's not like they just can't catch a break. I think it's just over. It's just.
I think it's important to remember this is a prime example of listen, we all play Madden or fantasy football and we bet on these games and it's fun to look at their numbers and their stats and we get their cards and all that. These are human beings, right?
Yeah.
And there's only so much I think these human beings can endure.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's just been a roller coaster of a season for the Houston Texans. Not only has there been so much change, like we've kind of said, they've got all these new pieces between Mixon, Diggs. You've had to go through so much specifically in these last 4 weeks. I think that, I forget the guy's name, it's Shazier Al-Shaair, I believe.
Yeah.
Him decking Trevor Lawrence, getting suspended in that way for 4 games, being without him, I think takes a hit. Stephon Diggs tearing his Achilles. Tank Dell in a gruesome season-ending injury. You see C.J. Stroud crying pretty much in the middle of a game. They have just gone through so much as a team to put up 2 points. And I think the Ravens are a really good team, but to put up 2 points, I think really shows to me where this Texans team is. I'm ready to bury them, man. I'm not going to be picking the Texans at all. I think they're absolutely done.
I agree. I can agree with you on that one. Stroud's going to have to pull something out of the magic hat. And I don't know if he can. Again, when Tank Dell went down with the injury and he was crying on the field, again,
I think he's a heck of a ball player.
These guys are human.
I think the Texans will be great for years to come.
Yes.
But I think this season is
just
it's too much to handle.
Yep. Completely agree with you.
So I started this by saying, all right, who else do I think is buried? Who else do I think is really not good? And I've picked out this team, and I was ready to formulate my take. And that's when I completely flipped on it, because I started looking at it from a personnel standpoint. It's the Los Angeles Rams. I think the Los Angeles Rams right now are sleeping giants, actually. They have strung together 3 or 4 straight weeks of looking terrible. But they've won. They've won those games with their defense. And I was ready to come in here today and say, I don't believe in the Rams. And then I just thought to myself, Matt Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, Sean McVay. I'm not going to pick against these Los Angeles Rams at all.
No.
I'm not going to fall into this trap of 4 sleepy weeks. I believe in this Rams team enough. I think they are actually sleeping giants, and you're going to get some good value on this team come playoff game. Matty Ice, what say you about the LA Rams?
I'm a big fan of the Rams.
Okay.
again, I completely agree with that take. They are sleeping giants. I think they're still trying to figure it out. I think they were in a very similar situation as the Texans, where they had Cooper Kupp go out with an injury, and then they had Nakua go out with an injury. I think it was the very next week.
Right.
And so
they've been backing out for like 3 or 4 weeks.
But it still takes time to get everything back,
get
the chemistry back together. All I know is I saw them whoop up on the Bills and with the offense. There's not much you can do when you have a healthy Puka Nakua, a healthy Cooper Kupp, and Kyron Williams. When he gets it going, that's gonna be scary. That could be a scary offense.
It's true. I do think a lot of it is Sean McVay, though. You know what I mean? Like, he's got to scheme it up for Kyron Williams. He's got to scheme it up for these guys.
Yeah.
But that's why I believe in McVay. I mean, we've seen this team win a Super Bowl with these same guys. Now add Puka Nakua in.
The only thing is, you're missing the greatest defensive player of all time on that.
Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald.
That's the biggest point.
That's the biggest point. But other than that, I think that, I mean, you still have great wide receivers. You have great offense. It's really going to come down to the defense. Is whether or not they get the stance. I think that offense is going to be there. I really do. I like Matt Stafford. I think he's a good quarterback. Again, he's not going to be your flashy player again, but he's going to get the job done.
Yeah, I mean, I think Matt Stafford, he's been a little rough these last couple of weeks. Maybe he's saving a little bit in the tank. We see this happen with Stat Mafford, as we used to call him on the Detroit Lions when he would just stat pad and not put up playoff wins. He's got a Super Bowl ring now. Can't be calling him that anymore.
No.
I do believe in Stafford still.
Agreed.
Still, I'm not going to buck. Like,
Agreed.
I mean, a Rams-Vikings game, I think, would be a great dichotomy of styles here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still believing in the Rams. I'm not going to give up on them that easy. So we were talking about the Eagles' 41-7 win against the Cowboys this past weekend with Kenny Pickett and Tanner McKee. Have you ever heard of Tanner McKee before, Matt?
Only because of ripping cards. That's it.
Tanner McKee looked pretty good.
He did.
2 touchdowns, I believe, this past weekend.
Great throws, too.
I know,
Great
right?
throws.
Look at the ball in the back end zone to A.J. Brown. See ya. Shout out to the Birds fans getting that ball back to Tanner McKee. But on that note, Matt, we said it last week, right? After the Commanders lost, I said, man, the Eagles, they really need Jalen Hurts. Well,
I told you to relax. I told you to pump the brakes.
After a week of preparing,
be okay. Everything's going to be okay. It's the same thing with me and the MVP. It's going to be okay.
After a week of preparing with Kenny Pickett, damn, man. The Eagles, is it possible? Right? Overreaction, underreaction. The Eagles don't need Jalen Hurts as much as I thought.
Overreaction.
Overreaction?
I think that's an overreaction.
41 points?
Listen.
41 points,
That Cowboys team
Matt.
is not good. That Cowboys team is not good at all. That team is in shambles as well. Again, no Dak Prescott. You got Cooper Rush at the helm there, who's not bad. He's not bad. But again, CeeDee Lamb looks checked out. I mean, he's playing good. He's also, he didn't even play, did he?
No, CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb playing. That's right. He had a shoulder.
He's
he had
done.
a shoulder injury.
He's
That's
done.
right. He was done.
IR.
That's right. But even still then, Brandon Cooks was the number 1 wide receiver. So,
yeah.
I mean, their offense wasn't going to do much.
Yeah, but Brandon Cooks isn't, the bottom line is Kenny Pickett and Tanner McKee. Okay, C.J. Gardner-Johnson had a pick 6.
Yeah.
Right, so 7 points, 41 minus 7, 34 points. Kenny Pickett and Tanner McKee put up 34 points against Micah Parsons' defense. That's huge to me. Saquon Barkley with all the Cowboy stack in the box ran rampant. You know, I don't know if the Eagles really need Jalen Hurts all that much.
Oh man,
I was talking to my buddies. We were saying #fun without one. It felt loose. It felt like it wasn't so tense. We weren't watching Jalen Hurts with a microscope.
Yeah.
You got to kick back and relax and party with the backups. Listen, the backup quarterback is the best job in sports, is age-old saying. I think you saw it happen this last weekend with Kenny Pickett. But man, oh man, look. I think it goes to show the Eagles have some of the best weapons in the NFL.
So if in playoffs, okay, because they're not going to start Tanner McKee, they're not starting Kenny Pickett. It's going to be Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
If he goes down with the injury.
Yeah. Knock on wood.
Okay.
Not wishing out on anyone.
No, but if it does, would you be like okay? Would you be like, okay, we still have a chance to win this game if Kenny Pickett comes in the game? Now listen, I'll tell you that if Josh Allen goes down with. If he goes down with something, like a flu or something, okay?
Yeah.
I would be scared. The game's over. The game
Who's
is
your
over.
backup? Who's your backup quarterback?
Right now, it is Mitch Trubisky.
Oh, God, Mitch Six, the Nickelodeon valuable player, the MVP himself.
It's over.
No, to be honest with you, I don't know how great I would feel because I think there's a big difference between a week of Jalen Hurts getting reps with the ones, scheming the offense for Jalen Hurts, and a week of Kenny Pickett getting reps with the ones. But I do think the system in place with A.J. Brown and Saquon Barkley is pretty damn good.
That is really good.
That's a
AJ
good
Brown's
one.
really, really good.
I know.
He's
All right.
he had that
What
one
a
catch
concept.
that wasn't a touchdown.
The one-handed,
it's incredible.
Just
It's
vacuum that one in.
Great catch.
And then I think maybe for me, one of my biggest takeaways just from the whole is the NFL. Overreaction, underreaction, or facts. NFL should have stayed 17 weeks. You know, I would have been fine if the season ended this last week. We already saw, what was it, like 8 backup quarterbacks this past weekend? You know,
so I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to say facts. 17, just take down the game. We didn't need it.
We don't need
didn't need it. Again, it's going to just be more chance of injury. It's going to be more chance of injuries. It's going to be more chance of
why?
What was the purpose of this?
Right. What really changed this weekend? The Lions-Vikings game, you could have just had this weekend.
The biggest thing, and then you have the argument again towards Saquon. I mean, he has a chance to break the record, but that's it. So you really, in theory, allowed for a break of Eric Dickerson's record, which could be broken, but at the same time, now it's kind of like a skewed record, I guess you could say, in a way, because he does have a
Doesn't Cup have the record now for receiving?
Does he?
I think he does, if I'm not mistaken. And some people say, oh, you need an extra game to do it. And it's yeah, that's true, but come on, you can't. It's like when teams play easy schedules, you can't fault the team for playing their schedule. You can't fault the guy for just playing, being healthy and playing every game on the schedule.
No.
But I do think there's a little bit of an asterisk. And you saw, dude, props to Eric Dickerson, by the way.
Yeah.
I respect the crap out of a guy who's just
his reply was great.
He's just nah, screw this. I'm not going to be happy for the guy.
Why would I be?
Rest in peace to the late great Hank Aaron. Anytime, anyone broke a record, you had the video of Hank Aaron being I'm so proud of you for breaking the record. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Eric Dickerson's nah, screw that.
Yeah.
That's my record. I'm very proud of it. I do not want to see Saquon Barkley breaking the record. He had an extra game to do it as well.
Yeah.
Listen, I obviously want to see Saquon Barkley break the record, not at the cost of risking an injury. Last week.
I agree. I guess I agree now. It's just not worth it. You're getting me with that Super Bowl, man.
It's true.
Again, it's not worth it.
It's not it's a consolation prize. You got a Super Bowl to chase.
Yeah.
All right, so let's look at some. My brain's going to some dark places. Over this as the Eagles game ends, as the Bills game end. I kind of had the show more or less done. And we will talk about this Falcons. I was about to say Redskins. Falcons Commanders game last night in just a moment. But I want to ask you a couple things based on some of these top teams. What you think is more likely? And seeing how dominant the Eagles were, seeing how dominant the Bills were, it got me thinking, and that neither of them will get buys with the new format. I'm either of these teams can lose in the first round, right? We've seen crazier happen before, so let's play a little game called What Are the Odds, Matt?
Oh, here we go.
What are the odds? What's more likely to you? The Bills lose their first playoff game or the Eagles lose their first playoff game? Because these teams have looked untouchable in the last few weeks, but it's the NFL, Matt. Do not let these big 40-point performances fool you. Which team do you think is more susceptible to lose their first game? You can do the matchup in your head. It's like any of these wild card teams.
All right, if it's the Dolphins, by some miracle, they get in as well.
Yeah.
Give me the Buffalo. I think Buffalo wins it.
Okay.
If it's the Broncos, that's going to be a scary game. That could be a scary game just because, again, the game's going to be in Buffalo. So Denver's cold. There's no, come on. What are we doing?
Dude, I love how you factor that. Is that Bills fan logic? Factoring in, are they used to the cold or not?
Listen, you absolutely have to. So if I see the Denver Broncos come in, that's a toss-up.
Really?
It's a toss-up.
That's crazy to me.
That Bills defense is horrendous. This might be one of the worst Bills defenses I've witnessed. They didn't do anything special against the Jets. The Jets' offense is just in shambles. It's Aaron Rodgers. I don't know who he thinks he is.
I don't know either anymore.
It's not good.
I'm a huge Aaron Rodgers defender too, but
it's bad. It's bad. And the fact that Tyrod Taylor comes in and delivers 2 touchdowns just goes to show you, but that defense is not. It's very vulnerable. If we don't win a Super Bowl, it's because of the defense.
Yeah.
I'll say that. The offense will keep us in the games and give us a good chance to win, but that defense needs to step it up a notch.
So are you saying? So what's the answer here? What are you thinking?
It depends on the matchup. Again, I can't. I don't know yet.
Okay.
There's just some things I just don't know. Ask me when the matchups are determined.
I guess so. All right, fair enough.
But if I have to choose one, So if I have to choose has a better chance of getting knocked out first, is the Eagles or the Bills for first round?
Not knocked out first, just knocked out in the first round. Yeah. As far as like the top seeds, the teams that are not getting buys, that are locked into the 2 seeds here, Bills and Eagles, both put up 40 points against weak opponents. But I'm saying to myself, is there any chance either of these teams that get knocked out in the first round? And if so, who is it?
I would say Bills.
The Bills.
I would say the Bills over the Eagles. Like the Bills would get knocked out first.
I would have to agree with you, Matt. And I'm not here trying to dunk on you. This was me genuinely saying, man, like, who could get knocked out? Because we see this happen all the time, right? It doesn't happen every year. But it's like, oh my God, who saw this coming? How could that have happened? I think the Bills are more susceptible, and I think you nailed it, Matt. I think it is because of the defense. They've been
so bad.
They've survived. You got to tip your cap. That's been very next man up all season. I think Super Bowl winning teams have the ability to do that, but it's also teams like that you can get snapped on, and then all of a sudden, the Josh Allen magic, if a team's able to get a 10-0, 14-0 lead on that defense, all of a sudden, the whole, wow, look at what he's doing with Matt Collins.
It's exactly what happened with the Bengals 2 years ago.
Exactly. They went up 13-0 or something like that.
13-0, but
all of a sudden, Cam Taylor-Britt, he's able to play off. He's looking like freaking Darrell Revis against this Bills offense.
It's incredible. And the Bills were in that exact same mentality they're in right now. Next man up. Someone step up. I mean, it was not good. It's not good. And it scares me, and I don't think...
And look, I'm not picking against the Bills at all.
No, please go ahead, because I'm in the same boat. I just don't think it's going to... The defense is just a liability.
And Jeff, feel free to weigh in as well, guys. If you're waking up with us on a Monday, what we're thinking here, Bills or Eagles, either of them, could they lose a first-round matchup? The one thing I will say, Matty Ice, that would be... Because, I was trying to take matchups out of it. It's impossible to take matchups out of it. Very legitimate possibility. I got on the NFL playoff predictor last night. If pretty much the chalk plays out, if you get what I'm saying, like the favorites win and the results, we expect to happen, I believe the Green Bay Packers would be the 7th seed in the NFC, and you could have a potential NFC championship-like match. Packers-Eagles, I think. I mean, wouldn't be surprised. Like, that wouldn't be that crazy of an NFC championship. That'd be a first-round matchup.
That would be.
I think that would be a little bit dicey for the Birds. Look, I would still pick them. I think the Eagles' defense is a lot better than the Bills' defense.
Oh, yes.
But, man.
Completely agree with that.
I don't think it's impossible the Bills lose in the first round. I'm not going to pick it. There you go.
There's a good, again, it's all off of matchups. There's only 2 teams in this league that I'm really, really scared about, and that's the Ravens
and the Bengals.
And the Bengals. That's it. I don't want to see that when
I tell you what,
when that Bengals offense is cooking, that team they'll put up
I can't
points
wait.
Fast.
I can't wait. I'm gonna the Bengals make the playoffs parlay is gonna hit different next week. All right, so Mike McCarthy, absolute drubbing last week, kind of puts a end to the Cinderella story, more or less. The Cowboys have been going on post-Dak Prescott era. What do you think is more likely next season? Mike McCarthy coaching the Cowboys or Doug Peterson coaching the Jacksonville Jaguars?
What is more likely? It's going to be Mike McCarthy. Jerry Jones, boy. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. He refuses to let McCarthy go. Refuses. He wants him there. He loves him there. He loves him and he loves Dak there. It does not matter.
I think Dak's a good quarterback. I do not think Mike McCarthy's a good coach.
I agree. And I don't think Dak is a good quarterback. Right. I'm going to take that a step farther. I don't think the Cowboys win under Dak. Win a Super Bowl with Dak as quarterback. Do I think he's should be a starter? Yes. But I don't think he's going to be that guy that's going to raise that team to be a Super Bowl contender. I don't see it.
I hear you, but I can tell you what, Mike McCarthy certainly isn't the coach to make them a Super Bowl contender. I think it's more likely that we see Doug Peterson still coaching the Jaguars next season. Then we see Mike McCarthy for 2 reasons. One, I think Doug Peterson's actually under contract next season. I know Mike McCarthy is not under contract for next season with the Dallas Cowboys. Okay. The reports are there has been no rush contract extensions with the Cowboys and Mike McCarthy, understandably so. I just think this was telling, right? Like, he was a bit of a CeeDee Lamb merchant, if you will, where if you still got a player like CeeDee Lamb, you can scheme it up and say, I can throw it to that guy. You take CeeDee Lamb out of the equation. Reminder, Kenny Pickett and Tanner McKee here. You're giving up 41 points. There's no need to keep him around. There's plenty of other fish in the sea. I don't know who those fish are exactly. Yeah. But it's not Mike McCarthy. All right. I think it's more likely you see Doug Peterson coaching the Jaguars. The only negative as an Eagles fan from that win is that I think you just wrote Mike McCarthy's resignation letter, or excuse me, his firing, or I guess lack thereof re-signing is what I'm trying to say
Yeah.
here with the Cowboys. That's one thing, because I would love to see Mike McCarthy with the Cowboys as a Birds fan.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I can't get over it. Jerry Jones is such a, you don't know what he gets stuck on these ways. And we see it with Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is our quarterback. Mike McCarthy's our coach. He's done it. There's been years, because this is not the first year that Mike McCarthy should have lost his job.
Yeah.
He should have been gone years ago.
Yeah, he should have been gone last year.
Agreed. Especially a first-round loss to the Green Bay Packers.
No, dude, a
home.
drubbing.
Yeah, exactly.
Not all first-round losses are created equal. That was an extra embarrassing. I like
Exactly.
that. Ben, by the way, can you pull up that Instagram video I sent you on Discord? It's Jerry Jones
yeah.
talking about Philly fans, right? There's the
Great.
two sides of Philly fans. You saw yesterday, if you missed it, A.J. Brown chucked Tanner McKee's first touchdown pass into the stands. A fan caught it. A.J. Brown said, "I'll give you my jersey. Come and bring that down." I don't know if I botched it over here by sending you Instagram instead of Twitter, Ben. I don't know if you're able to get that one full screen. That's on me, by the way. But basically, if you're Eagles fans, you got season tickets or whatever, you're able to come down onto the field or something like that, have some extra special access. Jerry Jones is on the field pregame, and Eagles fans are just letting him hear it. Ben, no worries if you can't get it to work. Oh, okay. Oh, man. Oh, no audio? All right, that's all it was is audio. You're good then. Looks like we're frozen. Dang it. All right, we'll run it back tomorrow. It's worth playing again because it's hilarious. Basically, fans just letting Jerry Jones hear it, saying, he's like, "Love your work, Jerry. Big fan of your work, Jerry." And Jerry's just sitting there smiling like, "I've never been outside of a suite before."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've never been amongst the common folk before. I don't really know how to handle this.
Yeah, I saw that video, and it's
Cracked me up.
he doesn't. I don't know. I don't know what Jerry Jones is doing.
It's
not good. It's not good.
Oh, to be rich and oblivious.
Exactly.
That would be lovely, man, and powerful. Last one here for you. What's more likely? Now, I buried the Houston Texans. Another team I think maybe deserves a lot of flack. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers. What do you think is more likely, the Pittsburgh Steelers snap to life or the Houston Texans?
I think it's more likely the Steelers snap.
Yeah.
I think the Texans are just gone.
Me too.
They're just a goner. I think the Steelers have that defense can keep them in games. That defense is elite.
Yeah.
Anytime you have TJ Watt,
yeah, I'm with
you have a good shot at winning the game.
Look, Will Anderson Jr. is good.
He's no TJ Watt.
Texans got a good defense, but come on now. It's the Steelers. They got Mike Tomlin. He's done it before. I think D'Amico Ryans is fantastic, but absolutely, I think it's the Steelers too.
Yep.
I'm with you.
Yeah,
Russell Wilson. Dude, Russell Wilson, we're letting Russ cook again. The memes are coming back. Steelers country, let's ride.
No.
I mean, that's... Steelers, I think I had them as a dark horse earlier. Dude, it's just crazy because, where did this come from? There must be, some brain worm in Russell Wilson's head that's telling him, hey, Russ.
I'm not sold on it.
Revert back to Denver, Russ.
That's the thing is I can't. I think the Steelers have a better shot of winning the Super Bowl with Justin Fields at the quarterback position.
Ooh.
I really do. I cannot stand Russell Wilson, man. I think Justin Fields adds a whole nother element to that offense. I think Russell Wilson, you know what you're getting, and I think teams can game plan against that. With Justin Fields, I think he has the ability to throw the ball and run the ball and make that offense way more dynamic.
Well, G. Mason chimes in. He agrees. He says, Wilson is a joke.
I completely
G. Mason,
agree.
I'm not sure if you're a Steelers fan or what. I just, what happened? Because for half of the season, I think back to that first game against the Jets where they made the decision to play Wilson. It's damn, man, this guy looks like he's back in Seattle. This guy looks like he's, I don't want to say MVP candidate, but G. Mason is mentally cooked, and I do wonder if that's the part of it. Because it's physically, you'll see flashes of the improviser label he got tagged with where he's making plays, 15 passing touchdowns, and I'm assuming you mean 10 interceptions. It's like the Impractical Jokers meme, you know what I mean? 15 passing touchdowns in 10 games. Well, that's part of that, I think, is the Steelers' offense. That's kind of the game they play.
Yeah.
But watching that Chiefs game, early on in that game, they were in it. They just had a penalty called on the Chiefs. I think it bought them a first down, got them out of a sticky situation. Red zone, or it was a goal-to-go situation. And it's like the Impractical Jokers meme where it's they're talking to the headpiece and they tell him to do something crazy. It's all right, Russ, now throw the ball into triple coverage for no reason. It's dude, what did you even see there, Russ? I don't know if he's having visions of prime DK Metcalf or Tyler Lockett back in the day.
I don't know.
It's just very infuriating, I think, as a Steelers fan for 5 games this season, I think you had a legitimate Super Bowl contender, and now all of a sudden it's give me Sam Darnold. You know,
Yeah.
give me like a Kirk Cousins at this point for the Steelers, because the Steelers system, you don't need a world beater out there.
No.
You just need a guy who's going to take care of the football, chunk you down the field, and not turn the ball over. I think you nailed the Matty Ice. I think at this point, you have to consider. Maybe Justin Fields for Week 18. I don't know.
Just at least see what he's got. I mean, what was his record as starting quarterback? What was it, 4-2?
Was it 4-2?
I want to say he was 4-2.
It was 4-2, and then I know I want to say it was that Thursday night football game against the Browns. He came in.
Yeah, came in and got the first down.
Steelers lost the game, but he got that huge first down. He had a couple big running plays. Like I would be interested to see either A, letting Justin Fields start, or B, look, I know this is crazy. This is very Madden-ish. Flip him.
They've been doing
try
that.
Little Fields, try a little Russ.
They've been doing that. So what they'll do is they'll bring him in for running plays. And it's like, okay, what's going to happen here?
And Porter just said Fields has as many rushing touchdowns as Najee this year. That's wild to me. The Steelers are just they're confusing, and I give Mike Tomlin a lot of credit because I think he's creative and finds ways to win games. But when you're just seeing so many flaws, so many exposed. I still think with Tomlin, with that defense, like you said, they do have a better chance than the Texans. But yeah, I don't know if Russell Wilson is the answer.
He is definitely not the answer.
All right, Matty, yes, quick little halftime here for us. One of our halftime here, our wacky story. Did you see what happened with Scotty Scheffler?
I did not. What happened to good old Scotty?
Scotty Scheffler. You're a golfsman.
I am a golfer, so I'm surprised I didn't hear about this.
Scheffler, the best golfer since Tiger Woods, I think, might not even a hot take. I think it's a fair statement to make.
Yeah.
No shortage of craziness to Scotty Scheffler this past season.
No.
We just added to it. Scheffler's going to miss the start of the PGA season, Matty Ice.
Oh, no.
A Christmas mishap.
Oh, jeez.
Cooking a Christmas dinner. I don't know what the heck Scotty Scheffler's making. Boiled goose or whatever. Got shards of glass lodged into his palm. Going to require surgery. Missing 3 to 4 weeks. I believe he's going to miss 1 to 3 major PGA events. Hold on. The tour season opener of the Century. I don't know if you're familiar. A freak accident on Christmas Day. I have so many questions. All right, wait, this is cool. On Christmas Day, while preparing Christmas dinner, Scotty sustained a puncture wound to the palm of his right hand from a broken glass. Small glass fragments remained in the palm, which required surgery. He is told that he would be back 100% in 3 to 4 weeks.
Wow.
Has anyone ever experienced this here? Alan, that's what I was going to say.
What?
That's exactly what I was about to get to.
It has to be. It's a cover-up.
What kind of Christmas meal are you cooking that involves shattered glass? Like what is this? Some some tradition? You know, I know you shattered glass on Jewish weddings or whatever. Like Mazel Tov, you know, L'chaim. I don't know what the Scheffler family's Christmas tradition is. I don't know what recipe you're making. Like, all right, so when you're baking the ham, make sure you smash a plate and really dig your palm into that. Like, Alan nailed it. That's what I was gonna say. What on earth kind of Christmas dinner are you making? And no disrespect to Scotty, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, Matt? He shouldn't be cooking Christmas dinner. You think a guy with his purse, you know what I mean?
He's absolutely getting it. He's getting it catered. What are we doing here?
No way Scotty Scheffler is cooking
We've
Christmas
seen the purses that he's
dinner.
been taking home. Come on, Scotty.
Give me a break. And look, no knock on Scotty. I think he's a good guy or whatever. From his interviews, he actually cracks me up. He strikes me as like the classic I'm awkward, but he's more well spoken than I thought I would be just by looking at him. Sorry for profiling, Alan. I think you nailed it. He was drinking, no shame on it, man.
No.
It's the holidays. Have a good one. Have a good one with your family. But dude,
to say you were cooking is crazy.
Say you were cooking to miss 3 to 4 weeks, and then I didn't even know it was possible to have surgery. Dude, that's got to be bad. Like shards are in there, going on 8 years clean. I have a few glass. Are you serious? Oh my goodness, Alan. Well, Alan, first of all, fantastic to hear that you're 8 years clean. Very good for you, man. Happy
awesome.
for you there. Not saying he's right. Alan, tip your cap to you for admitting that, dude. That's crazy. Good for you, Alan. Seriously, that's really good for you, man.
That's awesome.
Scotty, I wonder if this kind of makes him think maybe I gotta watch it. Like, jeez, Pete, dude.
Yeah, that's
3 to 4 weeks from a little bourbon and scotch, a little too many.
Lay off of it.
Woof, lay off the eggnog, Scotty. That's wild. A little bit eggnog, yeah. I don't know what kind of ham you're cooking. There you go. I mean, look, no laughing matter. Drinking problems are no laughing matter by any means.
No.
But I do think, having one too many glasses of eggnog on Christmas and trying to cover it up, I say, because I was like looking for specifics. I looked up 6 different articles like, what was he cooking? I need to know what led to this. No, nothing. There you go. Scotty Scheffler. That or his wife threw a glass. Listen, if your husband, Scotty Scheffler, I don't know what he's doing. You got to think twice before you're throwing a glass, all right?
He's got to bring in the purse, so you can keep going your shopping spree. So come on.
Rodriguez says Cowboys fans are going to have drinking problems after this season. Hey, yo, Rodriguez. How about them Cowboys? There you go, Rodriguez. Hey, yo. Come on now. I think you forgot about Tiger. Listen. Didn't forget about Tiger. How about Charlie Woods? You see Charlie Woods is a little late now. 2 weeks ago with an ace?
Yeah, he had a hole in one. That? Nice little hole in one.
Dude, that would be awesome.
He's actually really funny. When he's mic'd up, he'll be like, "You're terrible at golf. What are you doing, Charlie?" Like talking to himself. It's like, dude, you're what, 15 now? Come on.
He's 15?
He's getting.
I thought he was older, to be honest. He looks old. No, I think he's 15.
He's got to be like 15, 16 at max.
And Daly's son, yeah. That's awesome.
John Daly's son is good. He's good. He's got a nice swing. Very pure swing.
John Daly's got to be like... John Daly and Tiger Woods have to be 2 of the best dads from golfing standpoint for multiple reasons. 1, genes. 2, training. And 3, perfect examples of being like, son, look at how much talent I had. Look at how I wasted it. You know what I mean? Don't be like me. Be like me in one respect.
You have 2 opposite
Do not be like me in the other.
Opposite sides of the spectrum with John Daly and Tiger Woods. One was training every single day for about the first 20. Right. And then you had John Daly, who's like in the middle of a round. Hey, look, I got to go to the club. I got to go to the clubhouse and grab a Diet Coke and some Skittles. Like, I mean, those are 2 opposite sides of the spectrum. And so John Daly's son, I mean, he's really, really good. Arkansas
also, right? He followed in Dad's footsteps, I believe?
I believe so.
I think he's committed there or whatever. But yeah, that's our fun little sidebar there in the golfing world. And Scotty Scheffler cracked me up. Lay off the eggnog, Scotty. But... Come on, Scotty. Man, good stuff. All right, we got a ton more to get to in the NFL here. We have not talked about the Commanders-Falcons games last night, Matt. That was an awesome game. It happened. I've been going to bed, hand up, right? With these early wake-up games, wake-up calls. I've been going to bed at halftime in a lot of these primetime games. 1, these games have sucked. Yeah. 2, I'm tired. Last night I was like, I'm not used to my holiday schedule. I got a little thrown off. Wasn't as tired. And 2, I was like, yeah, this is a good game. Safe to say, Michael Penix and Jaden Daniels. Is it safe to say, let's look at it from a card perspective first. Are they the 2 best and 2 safest investments from a rookie quarterback market? And I know the sample size with Michael Penix is very small, but dude, the way this guy, first of all, takes care of the ball, I've been impressed with. His 1 turnover, I believe is 1 turnover. I know he fumbled the ball a couple times. He'll get there. I can live with fumbles from rookies more than interceptions.
Exactly.
His 1 interception was a freak interception, totally the receiver's fault. He takes care of the ball. His first passing touchdown in the NFL is a do-or-die game-winning drive, and then he never got a chance in overtime, so I can't really fault him for that.
Yeah.
On the flip side of the coin, Jaden Daniels, man, back-to-back weeks with game-winning drives. Hail Mary.
Good, man.
Are they the 2 best, and are they the 2 safest investments for quarterbacks in the NFL? Nothing against Bo Nix.
Safe? Oh, for rookies?
For rookie quarterbacks. Nothing against Bo Nix. Nothing against Caleb Williams. I think we have all really good investments for rookie quarterbacks, but I think we saw the 2 best last night. An example of Trevor Lawrence has not been too good.
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson, you're not doing it too well. I think these 2 guys are the future right now in the NFL.
Yeah, I agree. Again, I want to see more from Michael Penix, but I can say for damn sure, Jaden Daniels absolutely is the safest. No doubt about it. Jaden Daniels is elite.
Yep.
He is going to be a top 5 quarterback. I'm pretty close to already is, I would say. There could be an argument. But I'm a big fan of Jaden Daniels. It's a little bit of a hot take, but I'm trying to think. So you got Burrow,
top 5.
Allen,
Burrow, Allen, Mahomes,
Jackson,
Lamar for sure,
and then 5.
You know what? I mean, it's not crazy.
It's not crazy.
I'm not gonna.
Maybe top 7. I'll go top 7. I'll make it a little easier.
I'm not gonna say it right now, but I don't think Like, especially if you're a Commanders fan, and I'll get to Porter and Rodriguez in a second. Like what Rodriguez is saying, though. Like, if you're a Commanders fan, right?
You're hyped.
And you're hyped, I'm not going to sit here and strike you down and say, what are you talking about? I mean, look, the throws he's making, and I think the decision-making, the athleticism is ridiculous, man.
He reminds me of Lamar Jackson, just with a strong arm. Just the way he improvises plays.
The bullets.
He's got
zipping them in
He's
there.
got a cannon.
All right, so Porter goes Bowen May looks solid too. What's your rookie quarterback rankings, card security wise? All right, let me go off the cuff. Maybe I'll just do this. Maybe I'll research this a little more fully tomorrow and give you a better answer, Porter. But you ask, I answer. For security wise, I gotta go Daniels 1. I would go Penix 2. I would go Drake.
I would go 2. I'd go Bo Nix, right? As of right now, because right now
I'm going Penix 2.
I'm going 2 Bo Nix, 3 Penix.
I'm actually. You know what? I'm going to surprise you here. I'll go Caleb Williams 3. I think what he's done with a dumpster fire situation. Agreed. I think over time he will look even better.
I honestly forgot about Caleb Williams.
Yeah, right. I actually like Caleb Williams. I think what he's done with such a horrible situation, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to go Williams 3. I'll go. Let's see. That's what I'm saying too, Porter. And I think given the situation he's been put in, I still have respect him. Do I want to go? I'll go Drake May 4, Bo Nix 5. I refuse to buy into Bo Nix. I know he made a great throw. He shows great moments, but it's the flip side. He's. I'll do a bigger deep dive into this before I say firm on that Porter. But that's my off the cuff rankings there for rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And Rodriguez says live in DC. Some of the sports shows are saying Daniels is the next Mahomes. I don't know if I could say next Mahomes, but he's like that next guy, right? Because I still think Mahomes is still young enough, Burrow's still young enough, Allen's still young enough where you can't vault Daniels right there. I still think he's got a way to go to leap those guys.
Yeah, he's definitely got a little bit more way to go, obviously, to make that comparison.
And I think,
but is he on track to being a superstar? Yes.
Oh, without a doubt.
I think he's on track.
Just a little slice of humble pie, I guess, for the Commanders fans. Similar conversations about C.J. Stroud last season.
Yes.
So I need to see Daniels year 2 before I'm putting the old M word out there, the Mahomes word out there.
Exactly.
But man, oh man, Penix and Daniels last night is a fantastic game.
Great matchup.
I'm excited to see those guys for years to come. I'm going Daniels and Penix too. I know people might be thinking I'm vaulting Penix already.
Yeah.
But Penix at Washington, I was all in, and seeing him do that in prime time. Let's do a quickly rapid fire here, Matty Ice. 4 burning questions for you. Do the Vikings have to bring Sam Darnold back?
Yes.
You're not going to have J.J. McCarthy next season. You got Daniel Jones waiting in the wings. What do you do, man?
You got to keep him.
Right?
You got to keep him.
But if you're Sam Darnold, right? Here's what's going to happen. He's going to say, give me 4 years.
Oh, 100%.
Pay me like a real star, maybe not star quarterback, but all NFL starting caliber quarterbacks get paid these days. Backup quarterbacks get paid these days. Darnold's going to say, I want a 4-year, $100 million type dollar deal. Led a team to 14-2. His numbers, the way he's run the offense, feel like he's absolutely deserved it. What do you do for the Vikings? You just drafted J.J. McCarthy. You could be saying to yourself, well, why can't we believe that Daniel Jones can do the same thing with our weapons, with Kevin O'Connell, with the system we've created? What do you do if you're the Vikings?
Yeah, I think if you're the Vikings, I think the ball's really in Sam Darnold's court. I'll be honest with you, because I think it really depends on where the money is. I think there's a bunch of other situations out there that could use a quarterback. For example, like the Patriots, maybe if they want to, or no, not the Patriots, not with Drake May,
I was gonna say,
I would go.
Porter says the Jets.
The Jets, he's not going there. He's not going there just because of the past situation, the history. But maybe depending on what the Rams do. You ready for this? The Rams, depending on what Matt Stafford does. That would not be a bad situation.
Not a bad call.
With Puka and Cooper still there, if Matt Stafford for some reason decides to retire this offseason.
I do think it's also giving Indianapolis Colts.
Yes.
I could see, the way that they run the ship there. They took a chance on Carson Wentz.
Jacksonville, maybe.
I do think they're still going to keep going with Trevor Lawrence.
Is it over with this guy?
They can't give up on him that early. Rodriguez says Cowboys need a new quarterback depth chart. No way, Rodriguez. No way. That's going to be that.
Rodriguez.
I think the question is, it's going to come down to the open market. It's capitalism, baby. It's going to come to the free market. What team will give Darnold a $25 million,
Agreed.
$100 million 4-year deal? If there's a team out there that does it, I think he'll leave and sign. I think he has to. And if you're the Vikings, I don't think you can. I think you can give him a 1-year, 18 million, 1 year, 20 million.
Yeah,
and if he
he's not
wants
gonna
to
sign
stay and sign for that and
He's not gonna
try
sign
to run
that.
it back, then absolutely. But
Yeah.
if you're the Vikings, I do think you have to try to make it work.
At least try to. But I think, again, it's just going to come down to him.
I was watching the game yesterday, and it came to my mind. I said, this guy's an unsung hero in the NFL. He does not get enough credit. But before I answer it, Matty Ice, you take the floor here. Who would you say is the most unsung hero in the NFL this season? I'm wondering if we have the same answer, actually.
Terry McLaurin.
Wow, all right, that's not what I expected at all. I actually like that answer a lot.
Terry McLaurin. Over 1,000 yards receiving this year, 12 touchdowns.
That's pretty good. And he started off the year pretty slow, if I remember, too.
And so with Terry McLaurin, he's now got Jane Daniels. He's got this whole Commanders offense revving. This team looks good.
Yeah.
And so, I mean,
Yeah, I like that, actually.
a good QB, a good rookie QB with a great wide receiver. I mean, he's not going to, again, who has Terry McLaurin had to throw him the football?
Sam Howell. Yeah.
Come on, give me a break.
Did he look good? He made Sam Howell look pretty
Exactly.
good.
So-
That's a good shout, man.
And so I think Terry McLaurin has been slept on for many years. I drafted him in fantasy. I think that was poised for a great year, and he's capitalized.
I like that one a lot, actually. Terry McLaurin, unsung hero. He's not getting a lot of hype right now.
No one's talking about him.
I do think it'd be a good time to buy a couple Scary Terry cards as well.
Yes.
I mean, a card that anytime I see some comps on Terry McLaurin, I'm like, wait, really? That's
Yeah,
it?
that's it.
That low? I get it, right? The Washington fan base, no disrespect. I know there's some good fans out there. But as of the last 10 years, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Snyder, by the way, there was a Josh Harris chant apparently at the Commanders game last night.
Oh, boy.
As a 76ers fan, that makes me sick, but no one wants to hear that. I'll put a pin in that. My unsung hero of this NFL season, I think you'll like this one or hate this one. I don't know. What about Joe Brady? I think Joe Brady is a huge unsung hero, the offensive coordinator from the Buffalo Bills.
Wow.
And look, Josh Allen gets so much credit. Wow, look at what Josh Allen's doing now without Diggs was the problem. Letting Josh Allen cook. When that game was on Red Zone yesterday, I was seeing the pre-snap motion that the Bills were running, putting offensive linemen in the tight end position and then motioning those offensive linemen. Like the creativity, some subtle things that the Bills are doing. I do think Joe Brady deserves a lot of credit. Look, Josh Allen's a freak. There's no two ways about that. But to have Joe Brady running that offense with the Bills without Diggs, without any real weapons, committing to James Cook and Ray Davis, I think Joe Brady is a major unsung hero in a league that is becoming more coordinator-driven. Slow at getting a lot of credit. Ben Johnson getting a lot of credit. I do think Joe Brady needs to get a lot of flowers and could be a sleeper candidate for a head coaching job.
He's actually a lot of. I believe he already has an interview lined. If I'm not mistaken, he has an interview lined up. If not, there's rumors about it. The Bills, I would assume, they're anticipating him to get a job.
Yep.
To be completely honest with you, and to play devil's advocate to your point.
Okay.
This will be, if Joe Brady does get hired, this will be his second offensive coordinator that gets a head coaching job. Last one, Brian Dable.
I knew it.
Brian Dable. So is it just magical
say,
that two OCs get coaching jobs, head coaching jobs elsewhere? Is it the
I don't know.
scheme,
Brian Dable.
or is it?
Let's not forget Brian Dable took this same New York Giants team to the playoffs. I don't think Brian Dable is nearly as bad of a coach as we think he is.
I don't think he's a bad coach. I just think that
good.
the management is not. I don't like Joe Schoen.
Yeah, Joe Shane and John Mara.
Yeah.
What's up, Quiza? Good morning from
Hey,
Alaska.
how we doing, man?
Quiza, are you still awake from last night? I know Quiza's still awake from last night.
Oh, man.
He's welcome in from Alaska, Quiza. In case you never caught us before, Talkin Slab, we do a little morning sports show until around 8:30, and then we get into breaking for the day. But good morning to Quiza. Had a good weekend hitting some stuff with Quiza over
There we
here.
go.
But yeah, man, Joe Brady. I think, and would it be crazy to see Joe Brady going over to the New York Giants as well? I don't think you dip your toes back into the Buffalo Bills coordinator pool for that reason.
They took everybody from. They took because at the time it was our assistant GM, and they took the Brian Dable.
Yeah.
And then they started taking our players, and it's just like, all right, here we go.
Last question here from the NFL, because I'll save this next one for later. But in running backs you've watched in your life, so Saquon Barkley now, the 2,000-yard rushing club, and I do think it matters. He did it in 16 games. He joins a club of only 9 rushers ever in your lifetime, Matty Ice, because people can talk about Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith, and I'll be honest, I did not get to watch those guys. In your lifetime, Matty Ice, Where does Saquon Barkley rank in guys that you have seen with your own 2 eyes?
All right.
In terms of running backs. I can go first if you got to think about this.
No,
real
I'm just
quick.
trying to think. I have my top 5.
Okay. You got a top 5?
I got top 5.
Go ahead.
AP,
Okay.
LT,
Oh, yeah, okay.
Marshawn.
Really? All right.
Marshawn was that like.
I understand.
So,
I mean, I
just
like
just
Marshawn
amazing to watch. He was just a lot of fun to watch. Beast mode when he actually went beast mode, it's incredible to watch. And then here's one that was a lot of fun to watch as well. CJ2K, Chris Johnson.
Chris Johnson.
He was
I'm with you.
electric to watch.
I will say the
And then
Chris
Saquon.
Johnson, Saquon 5.
So I'm trying to figure. I would probably have him at 5. And here's the only reason why. Here's the only reason why. If he was on the Giants, if he wasn't on the Giants and didn't go through all that and the injuries, we've seen it for 1 year. From all those guys, we've seen it for many years. So I would like to see him. I would have liked to see it for a little bit longer.
I will pump the brakes on that a little bit. I would say we've seen it for a few years with Saquon. His rookie year, the season the Giants made the playoffs, Saquon Barkley carried the Giants to the playoffs that season.
Yeah,
we do not say that about running backs in the year
No.
of our Lord 2024 that often. Chad, feel free to weigh in as well. Top running backs you've seen in your lifetime.
Yeah.
I'm tempted to put Saquon Barkley number 3, and there's a guy that I feel like you're really missing. Number 1 is Adrian Peterson. There's no doubt we can agree with that. My number 2 that I've seen in my life, Derrick Henry. I think Derrick Henry is the second best running back I've ever seen.
Wow.
No disrespect to LaDainian Tomlinson. I love watching him. LaDainian Tomlinson was on some of the best offenses, I think, in the Chargers, like statistically speaking. They had statistically some of the best offenses of their era.
Yeah.
But Derrick Henry carried the Titans for years. Now you're seeing him with the Ravens. I got Saquon Barkley behind those two. I love LT. I think there's a case to be made with Chris Johnson.
I honestly didn't even think about
Chris
that.
Johnson, I think, is similar, where he really had a 3-year, 4-year burst of being awesome. Saquon
He was just
Barkley,
electric.
yeah, that's true.
Electric. When he
Chris
touched that,
Johnson was speed and power. That's similar with Saquon Barkley. Like the speed and power is
it's just
unreal.
unbelievable.
I love watching him play, man. It's so fun.
I mean, he's doing things with as a running back. Who does a reverse hurdle? Like, no one does that.
It's just the poetry
it's
in
a lot of
motion.
fun. It really is.
Saquon, the third best running back I have ever seen. Real quick tonight, before we're out of here and getting to breaking, Monday Night Football preview, Lions versus 49ers. Couldn't even get to everything that we wanted to today. There's so much more to get into tomorrow. I do think we will be talking about this Lions-49ers game. To your point, I think it's a kind of a good measuring stick for how banged up this Lions team is.
Yes.
How strong they are. Rodriguez said, would you consider Frank Gore? You got to consider Frank Gore, I think, because of longevity. But Rodriguez, I'm talking about don't get me wrong.
Hall of
Frank,
Famer? Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
without
100%.
a doubt. What Frank Gore did, dude, for 10 years straight of just performance and
Even on the Bills at the end of his career. I mean, it was a lot of fun to watch.
And Craig is right. Jamal Charles did move unlike any other. I'm talking about a 5-year prime. I'm looking at these guys, if you want to look at them just at their prime. Frank Gore to me is just on the outside and looking in on
Oh my gosh. We forgot one.
Who?
Christian McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta put him up there.
I'm still taking these 3 guys over him.
Oh, man.
Because Christian McCaffrey, and I guess I'm knocking Christian McCaffrey. I'm knocking Christian McCaffrey for doing it in the passing game. I'm kind of looking at it from the old-fashioned, get my neck roll, baby. We're running the I-form, power O, slam it down their throat,
man.
That's what I'm thinking about. Dude, you're right. I gotta rethink
You gotta
some of
put
this.
Christian McCaffrey.
But Frank Gore's a good shout.
Yeah,
but I
that's a
do
great
think
shout.
just from a visual standpoint, having the name Frank Gore and his running style, just goring everyone,
Yeah.
You got to put him in there in terms of fun to
100%.
watch. Man, what's better than good running back play?
Nothing.
Dude, we didn't even get into hot stove today.
No.
Corbin Burns, 6 years, $210 million.
Crazy.
We can unpack some of that stuff more tomorrow. But a quick Monday Night Football preview. I wanted to ask if I'm missing something. I'm going to fall into the trap. Lions minus 3.5. 3.5 is the number. All the starters should be playing for the Lions, other than the guys who we know are injured. But on offense, everyone should be playing, to my knowledge.
Yeah.
Am I missing something here? 3.5? Are we going to take that? What's the deal?
I like that 49ers team, man. I really
Are you going to bet the 49ers
I think
tonight?
I am.
Wow,
I think I am. I really think I am. I'm a big fan. Again, Purdy's doing the job. Again, I think
Who's that?
they're so.
You said Purdy?
Purdy. I like Purdy. I really do. I like Purdy. If I'm not mistaken, he's had over 300 yards his past. Let me check.
I don't know. If he has, it hasn't felt like it, at least. I've just been
It's
so
very, it's very
unimpressed.
sleepy statistics.
There's been negative. It's been negative game scripts.
Yeah. Against the Dolphins, he had
Dude, but
300. He had 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. Rams was kind of a slow game.
If
the
you throw
Bears,
325
with 2 touchdowns again.
Okay, against the Bears,
353 against the
whoop.
Buccaneers. That's a good defense.
What, did they win that game? No, they didn't. I'm pretty sure they did not. Like I just
No, they got small. Oh wait, no.
If you throw 300 yards and you lose 29-17, I don't care. You know, I'm not. I can't get excited for
They
that.
did win the game. They did win it. They did beat the
Niners beat the Bucks. All right, that's on me then. Hand up. I was wrong on that one. Am I missing something? I'm going to go on the Lions tonight. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You know, I just think they're so much better than the 49ers right now. What are you playing for if you're the 49ers? You could flip it around and say, what are you playing for if you're the Lions, right? The win or loss doesn't really matter. I just think when Dan Campbell's your coach, you're treating every game like it's legit.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Lions tonight, but really it's just a precursor for next weekend.
Agreed.
All right, so quickly, I want to do a little fun top 5 here. Then my top 5 backup quarterback rankings in the NFL, Matt, because we saw, I want to say 8 backup quarterbacks this past weekend. Let's see. Let's quickly rattle off the NFL scores from this last week. We saw Aiden O'Connell with the Raiders.
Yeah.
We saw Snoop Huntley. We saw Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
Wow.
We saw Kenny Pickett. We saw Tanner McKee, Cooper Rush. We saw Mac Jones. We're up to 7 right now. I gotta forget
Trubisky
one.
as well. We saw Trubisky.
Mitch 6. Tyrod Taylor. We're up to 9 actually. I know I'm forgetting someone. There had to be another backup quarterback, but you get the point. We saw a lot of backup quarterbacks, and you know what? Some of them looked pretty good, man.
They did look good.
So it had me wondering who are actually the top 5 backup quarterbacks in the NFL. Number 5 is Carson Wentz. I think Carson Wentz, if he's given a chance, can actually make some throws. I freaking love Carson Wentz. I would love a world where we get to see a Carson Wentz revenge angle. Not wishing anything on Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
But after Carson Wentz went down and the Nick Foles run, wouldn't it be amazing to watch Carson Wentz do that same thing?
It would.
And honestly, the way Patrick Mahomes is playing this year,
Yeah.
Andy Reid and those Chiefs, I think Carson Wentz would do pretty well in that. Number 4 is Jameis Winston.
Come on, little
We have to let Jameis Winston cook. The Browns, it's a travesty. You're denying the good people, the fans of the NFL, 3 weeks of Jameis, let Jameis Winston garbage time.
Yep.
I get it. He's throwing a lot of interceptions, but to subject fans of the NFL to Dorian Thompson-Robinson and Jerome Ford for 3 straight weeks is a travesty. If you're going to tank, at least do it in style. All right? I hate this white flag wave of Dorian Thompson-Robinson. You got to give Jameis Winston a chance.
You have to.
Look, I know he throws interceptions, but he also won the Browns a couple of games.
Rest in
Jameis
peace,
at number 4.
Jerry Jeudy fantasy owners, man.
It's not fair.
It was a good 4 weeks that we had him.
Number 3 is Cooper Rush. I know he had a terrible game, but I actually think he's an NFL quarterback.
Wow.
The way he delivers the ball to CeeDee Lamb, I actually do like Cooper Rush. I think he's just a dumpster fire of a situation over there. Dude, what were the Cowboys thinking? Ezekiel Elliott came in for 1 play and got stuffed for 3 yards. And I feel bad for Cooper Rush. I don't know if any quarterback could really salvage that Cowboys team right now.
No.
I actually think Cooper Rush is a decent backup QB. Number 2, Aiden O'Connell. Kid can play. Kid can play. I think he's an NFL quarterback. Yep. I'm not telling the Raiders to invest their future into him.
That's a card stock that I would highly be looking at. I would absolutely be looking at Aiden O'Connell. I know his.
That's a segment tomorrow. I'm telling you right now.
He kind of had his little skyrocket once he got named starter at the beginning of the year. I want to say is what it was. Yeah. And then he kind of got it. Obviously,
I would be getting some Aiden O'Connell.
I'd be getting some Aiden O'Connell for sure.
You see what happens with guys like Sam Darnold. I think it's not impossible for these guys in the right system to thrive. I would be getting a couple Aiden O'Connell cards. And the number 1 backup quarterback in the NFL, we just talked about him, Justin Fields.
Thank you.
Gotta let Justin Fields. I think you gotta give Justin Fields an opportunity to start if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers. You got anyone I miss here, Matty Ice?
I got a couple.
What do we think here?
Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, I like Tyrod Taylor.
Listen, when I think backup quarterback, I think, okay, who's going to come in and give you a chance to win? If some situation happens, you need him to step up. I'm not talking about a blowout. I'm talking about would you be confident if he comes into the game? That's why I asked you earlier with Kenny Pickett.
I would be confident with Kenny Pickett, but I wouldn't be that confident. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say it's doomed, but I wouldn't feel that great. All right, y'all.
What's up?
What do we got?
Joe Flacco.
No.
Give me
No.
Joe Flacco. Give me Joe Flacco, baby. Come on. Listen, I'm rocking with Joe Flacco. You give me Joe Flacco all day.
Dude, you just pulled the Max Kellerman.
You need a drive.
The
to get a
aliens
touchdown.
have the death beams pointed towards Earth, and you need one backup quarterback. Give me Iguodala. Give me Joe Flacco. That's what you just did.
Give me Joe Flacco. If I need a team to score a touchdown in a critical moment, my starting quarterback goes down, I want Joe Flacco. Give it to me.
The large. I totally agree, by the way. You know what?
Yeah, that's a good point.
If we're talking about from a card perspective,
that's a great pickup.
Give me Hendon Hooker. I would love to see Hendon Hooker. That's a great shout, Large. And hand up, totally forgot about him. One more, all right? We don't need to talk about backup quarterbacks all day. Jake Browning. I would consider Jake Browning as well. He actually looked pretty good.
Well. Yes.
Dude, this is the ultimate, just like loser dude kind of conversation. Guys can just sit around and start throwing out backup quarterback names. You can do this for hours. Just start throwing out backup quarterback names here. I have a blast doing it, to be honest. But guys, I do want to get into some card rips today. Matty Ice, you're on the cards today, sir?
Yeah, we're gonna have some fun today. We
got a little Bowman draft, but look. Here's the bottom line. I don't want to make any promises here. I don't have any official words. We've been running a lot of auctions lately. I don't know about you, Matt. I ran some auctions. I had a ball.
They're a lot of
running
fun.
auctions this last weekend. We hit big. I know Queasy hit a huge Sam Antonacci, I want to say. Not like the number one prospect for the White Sox, but Antonacci Bowman first auto at 10. And I think he got that spot. I mean, I don't know how much he got it for, but no more than 30 or 35 bucks. Large, I still think Daddy Long Neck is what we used to call him, Large. I still think Davis Mills could make a throw or two if you need him to. Don't get me going, Large. Don't get me going, man. You can talk all day about Gardner Minshew and the like. But that's going to wrap it up for us, guys. If you're just joining us, we're back at 7:15 in the morning, bright and early tomorrow.
Absolutely.
So much more to unpack. We didn't even get into hot stove. We got college football playoff on the table. We'll do our winners and losers in the NFL. I'll give you my official top 5 rookie quarterback from a card standpoint. And we can break down a lot of baseball as well because there was a ton of moves this past weekend. But guys, rock with us. Matty Ice is going to get some auctions going. We got a Bowman draft, PYT in the store. And Merry Christmas, guys, and a Happy New Year. Tomorrow's New Year's Eve. Hope everyone's enjoying their time. Matt, good stuff today, man.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Go Birds. How about them Cowboys? And and go Irish. Oregon taking it all, says Rodriguez. We got Boise State and Penn State tomorrow night. That will be a fun one. We'll be here to break it all down and react to the rest of Week 17. Appreciate it, guys. Have a lovely Monday.
I'll see you
Enjoy
guys
your days at work. Enjoy your days off, for I know a lot of you. Let's hit big in Bowman and appreciate you guys for joining us right here at Suncoast Sports. Suncoast Sports. What the hell am I saying? Suncoast Sports. I barely slept last night. My phone broke. Whatever. Go Birds. We'll see you guys. Thanks for joining us.